Time for a new character, and this was a challenge. I loved creating this concept for iCarly of how I think she could play, and for this new request, I definitely had fun putting this together. And I wanted to do this as a giant premiere. I know this is going to be a little bit on the longer side. This is my third ever official live action character that I ever created for this series, and I've been doing this series ever since the first game, a little bit after the first game came out for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, and then carried it through all the way through. Basically, I can say this all the way through Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 through its content, its continuous content, and we're just gonna have to wait until we see what we get next for a new game. And I hope that we get more for another game that's better. It can have a live action character too, and I think it was pretty fun putting this together for this iCarly request for Carly Shay, another show that I remember watching from way back then from these other shows. And there's other live action shows that I watched on Nickelodeon that I'll get into and share for some memories. And then we're going to start talking about everything iCarly so people can know what the show is about and what the character is and things like that. And if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to stay in this premiere, you could just go ahead and just close out the video, or you can just check out the ideas in the description if you want to see how I think she can play if she was to ever get into the game. And it's not about her being able to get into the game, is what I think she could play like if she were to ever get picked up and added into the game as a playable character. And it's what makes the series so much fun, just doing this. It takes a lot of time to put these ideas together, and I don't want to rush out the video, and that's why there's such a gap in between some of the characters, and some characters take longer than others, and some characters have different things about them where they are from a similar show where I won't really have to get into the backstory and talk about what the character or what the show is about. This is a different one, and some other live action characters that I put together that I want to share: the amazing Crushkin, the legend himself, a sidekick magician from the 90s that I wanted to see make it into this game, but this game is over and done with as far as content. Maybe he can make it into the next game. And then another character that I also did a moveset for that you guys could check out, that'll also be able to just to also be able to implement and include. I did Ed from Good Burger. I love that series. It's so much, that movie. I didn't see the new one yet. I didn't see the new one that I still have to watch. But I also have a moveset for him that'll also appear going towards the end of the video that you guys can check out, and if you guys want to. So Carly Shay is the third ever live action character that I'm putting into this series for this request series, and I had so much fun putting it together for this video for today for the premiere. It's gonna be on the longer side, just talking about the story and getting into the character ideas and how I came up with the ideas itself. And I'm not exaggerating, I watched the full show all over again. I ended up watching every single web show, and I found the perfect video reference that I wanted to also be able to share with everyone who wants to be able to check it out in the description. And if you have not seen iCarly before, and if you haven't seen the show, you guys can click on the video and check out the web show and really be able to see what they do, what goes on during the show and things like that, and the things that they do. I'm also going to be talking about that soon, so I just didn't want to just be rushing the video out and just going right into the moveset. I like also being able to type up the ideas so everyone can be able to read through what I came up with, the character and the episode name and how I came up with them. So that way it's not just being talked about, it's also on display. People can read through the ideas. So every single character that I made has a description of ideas and a moveset that people can be able to read through. So it's not just me talking about the character. So it's different and it stands out, and people can really be able to critique the ideas and really add on to your own ideas of what you think that character could play like. And if you want to change something, you can also be able to talk about it here in the live chat for the live premiere for today, and also in the comments. And if you have requests, you can also be able to list those too. You cannot keep on requesting characters. Some people started doing that, and you gotta wait for the next character to come out. It's different, and I always like to pick and choose the character that I want to work on next. Is how, if I haven't done a character from that show or from that series in a while, or have yet to do a character from that series, that's how I usually pick them. And I don't want to have the same person requesting all the characters at once. So it's fair to everyone else to get their character showcased in the video. So this one is a live action character that was completely different that I did not expect. So I took the challenge, I took the request and accepted it, and I wanted to really put this together and make it as good as possible. So that's everything that I wanted to really mention to get this started. So now we're going to start getting into the backstory. For those who have not seen this show, we're going to bring it up. Let's put it up on the news tab, and we're done as far as updates. So we're just gonna have to wait and see if we get another game, another game, to see if we get an All-Star Brawl 3, or if they do something different for these characters, or they come out with a brand new adventure game for these characters to get featured and cross over and be able to meet each other and interact with each other, interact with one another. Something like Nicktoons Unite, for example, that could be something that could be possible, but we don't know if we're going to get a third game, and if a third one is probably going to possibly be in the works. But this is something that could really spice up the roster with a live action character or two that can really be able to get in and join the roster as an idea. So the backstory for this first portion: if you haven't heard of iCarly, iCarly is one of Nickelodeon's biggest series with some of the highest ratings ever, and they also have a revival. They recently had a revival. I have not watched the revival. I want to say this now. I have not watched the revival, and I have not. None of the ideas that I came up with or utilized for this request for this moveset is from the revival. It's all from the original show from iCarly itself, from the OG series that I watched. So I wanted to put that point out there so people don't get it twisted. So this is all from the original, because things changed from the revival from what I found out. So I did my research to find out, a certain character is not in the revival and isn't involved in the show for the iCarly revival series. So this is about the OG. So we're just gonna leave it up on here because he's our newest character that we gotten, and our only character that we're probably gonna ever get for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, because it's time for things changed, and we're gonna have to probably find out what we're gonna get next, because I don't think we're gonna get anything as far as new characters for this game anymore. So we'll have to see what happens. So some quick thoughts and memories I wanted to just bring out real quick before we start talking about what the show is about for iCarly. iCarly wasn't the only live action show that I watched. I also watched All That. All That. Anybody remember that? All That. Keenan and Kel, one of my all-time favorites. And then the Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Ned's Declassified Survivor Guide. Well, Ned's Declassified School Survivor Guide, Zoe 101, and many more that I watched. And all those different old shows like Kablam and more. I know it's not a live action. I watched all those old school shows and things like that. I miss the older shows that used to air on the channel, and I'd love to see them return. We got Jimmy Neutron coming back next year. That's already in the works. So I definitely want to see most of these other characters make a return. LT Gray and Jenny Wakeman, because they all got, their shows are not going on anymore. It's been canceled for the new season for My Life as a Teenage Robot. They had a new season that was already on its way, but things changed. It got canceled. So the plans got scrapped. But Jimmy Neutron is on his way back next year, and they have a revival or a reboot in the works. The Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish, I wanted to also be able to bring and mention real quick. That's doing so well. A lot of people want to see a new season for that. Those reboots are doing well. That reboot, for example, is doing well, and people want to see it. They want to see more. So I'm hoping I will see some other characters make a return. Things like that. And I've seen them do a live action Law House. Was it the really, really Law House? I haven't even seen it. If that was the name of the show, I haven't seen that. But we're going to get into the backstory and start talking about Carly Shay and her series, or her show of iCarly. Carly Shay is the star. We're just going to leave it on here for a little bit, and then we're going to get into the roster. Carly Shay is the star and the host of her own popular web show named iCarly, which she produces with her two best friends, Sam and Freddie. And Sam acts as her co-host, while Freddie is the technical producer and the camera guy, or the cameraman. He also sometimes gets involved in the episodes as well. So you guys will be able to see him, not even just controlling the camera, but he's also being a part of the web series and on the episodes as well sometimes. And sometimes fights break out between them, but they all get along outside of, Sam bullying Freddie throughout the show and during the web show live. But things get better between them, as she even went as far as defending Freddie, who was getting teased by the viewers at some point during the show. So she isn't all that bad of a character and a bully to Freddie, but she actually defended him, and they get along. All three of them get along. So you don't see too many fights between Sam and Carly, but you do eventually see them fall out, that you guys will be able to see from the show when you go and watch it if you want to. Things change, and arguments start, but they end up making up at the end. So it always ends up working out for them. And this web show, and this show, since it's called iCarly, the web show is a success with all three of these characters, with Carly, Sam, and Freddie being together for this web show for its success, because they can't do it without the other. So this show was first performed at a talent show at her school for Mrs. Briggs' talent show. But when Carly Shay and her best friend Sam improvised like a little bit of a comedy little skit during her school talent show, during a talent show audition, the tech savvy himself, Freddie, recorded the show without Carly and Sam knowing. So he secretly recorded their talent show performance that they performed during the audition. So Freddie records it, and he posted it online without informing them. After seeing the girls' strong chemistry and banter, the online audience wanted more, and that's how they decided to start this show. So a little bit of a fact of how the show got its name. Freddie helped come up with the name of the web show, because he was like, why don't you name the show iCarly? Because it's you. He said, because it's, I for the word internet, and then Carly, which is you. So iCarly. That's how it was implemented, and that's how the show started. That was the name of the web show and how it got its name. And you get this from the iPilot episode, which is the very first episode. So you guys could be able to see this and how the web show started. So the one thing I want to just also get into before we start getting into the ideas for the character, for more of the backstory, for this portion of the video, I want to talk about the web show topics. So it's not just saying, well, they got the web show, they got iCarly, that's it. The topics of what they do on the show, you guys will probably be more curious to find out and be interested in if you haven't seen the show. Viewers are able to go on iCarly.com to cast their votes, check out web show highlights for the videos from the different episodes that they do, and you can also rate the videos, and then you can also do requests and things like that they do, challenges and dares and stuff like that. It's really cool to see this. It's not the same. Every episode isn't the same, and you can watch the episode you can watch the show as you see fit. Listen to my words. You can watch the show as you see fit in any order, but you definitely want to watch it because you'll be able to see the relationships build between Sam and Freddie and also Carly. So you will be able to see the things that go on. They also have guest appearances, bands join the show. They discuss topics like recycling. They do contests and giveaways, dancing, and some of the stuff that I'm talking about for the topics, it helped me come up with different ideas for moves that we'll get into later in the video. They also do pranks on Lubert, who is the mean doorman of the Bushwell Plaza apartment. So they do pranks on him. as well. So everything that goes on during the web show is different. It's interesting, it's fun, it's funny, and things like that. And they also try to compete against each other, and depending on what episode that you watch with different activities, it's always something different when you watch iCarly. And that's why I think what also helps it stand out. Every episode is different. The web show is different. And then also, when I want to bring this up, it's not about just things that go on during the web show. It's things that go on off camera when the show isn't live, and you get to see what goes on in the life of Carly, or in the life of Carly, Sam, and Freddie, and all the other friends that she meets from her classmates and things like that. So it's not just about the web series. You can be able to see what her daily life is like in iCarly when the camera is off, when they're not live. So that's also something that's different from this show. It's not about them just being live all the time, but you can see what goes on. It's different sort of events that take place. So I definitely recommend the show. But that's the backstory. We're going to start getting into the stages. And see, this is definitely probably going to be a long one. A longer video for this premiere. But now it's time for the stages. And just like I always say, we only got 2 stages from this game from the updates. And I was trying to see if I could use one as an idea, but I'm going to use Hardcore Chores because it's the closest thing so you can see the insides of his house for Rocco's Modern Life. Rocco's house is in the sky, and it's a little bit different, and they changed it because you can go to, you're not just stuck in one spot. You can fight on top of the roof of his house and things like that. So I thought of adding the iCarly studio from Bushwell Plaza. So the name of the stage, Bushwell Plaza, or they could put the iCarly studio, which I think the battles can take place. It can be really well done. Look at these stages. They're very well done. Look at the Loud Castle. It looks great. The ruins for Reptile Ruins. They even designed the houses of SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick. The real life Bikini Bottom is in the game on Country. The Wild Savannah from the Wild Thornberries. It's just like every stage is very well done. And seeing the city for Rooftop Rumble, this is the closest things you can see the buildings and things like that. They can even have it a different stage variation where you can fight outside. It could take place outside of the Bushwell Plaza as another idea. But I feel like the iCarly studio is the perfect background to be added into the game for her DLC if she gets in. And these characters did not get a stage when they got into the game for this game, which was completely different. Mr. Krabs, Zuko, Rocksteady, and the General himself, Iroh, didn't have a stage. So I want that to get changed in the next game, so each new character that gets in, whoever they go for and choose to add, they can have a new stage to represent their DLC, all in one package. Now, it's just unfortunate that we have only these 2, which are great and all, but it needed more. It deserves more. So hopefully the next game has more. We're going to have to see. Let's get into the costumes for Carly. We're going to start with Christmas Carly, and I want to bring up Ren and Stimpy because Ren and Stimpy was one of the characters that had a Christmas outfit along with Helga. Helga's gone. Helga got cut. She didn't make the cut. She's up in the background in the aquarium stage. But they took away the Christmas costume from Ren and Stimpy, which was basically the Christmas hats. It wasn't even a full-on costume or a Christmas outfit. It was just Christmas hats. But Helga really had the real Christmas attire for her alternate costume that fits her. But they were the only 2 characters that really had a Christmas costume. And the difference is, the only holiday that's represented is Halloween for Garfield. And then this one, isn't this a Halloween costume? I could be wrong. Or is that just a special episode? But the only holiday represented in this game is Halloween. So the first costume that I wanted to start with, and I wanted to put him on the screen because they didn't utilize Christmas outfits. iChristmas Carly, or Christmas Carly, could be her first costume. This is from the Christmas special episode where she wears a Christmas hat, red and white long sleeve jacket, a black buckle, jeans, and black shoes. And this is iChristmas. This is the iChristmas episode. the Christmas special from the original. None of these costumes is from the revival at all. None of these ideas is from the revival at all because I haven't seen it. This is completely from the original. From the original iCarly. The next costume I went with is the pink bunny costume from I Saved Your Life. Carly wore the pink bunny costume as a dare to wear a bunny suit and brush people's teeth for a video on her web show. So so see how the funny things that they do and the dares and the things that they do for viewer requests and things like that. The pink bunny costume will be a cool little costume that she can wear, and the fans really liked the pink bunny costume. For iCarly fans out there that might like it, so it'll be a nice costume for her to wear, a new alternate costume. So all these characters have really good ones, and they have more than one, which I like. What was I gonna probably try to utilize? Let me see as an example. Let's try the Angry Beavers dagging over. See how they have their pajamas? This could be something that, see how they went as far as doing this? These are pajamas. This is their sleepwear. These are cool costumes that people wear in the games and the matches. So they definitely would pick something like the pink bunny costume because she wore this as a dare, and this would be something that can almost go along the side on the lines of, you know, pajamas or something like that. But this costume was just worn strictly for her dare and for her web show, and it makes the most sense. Then the next costume is the space cheerleader costume I selected, where Carly dresses as a cheerleader in space during her show, wearing a yellow and pink sleeveless cheerleader outfit, which was a sleeveless shell top. It was yellow and pink, and this was from the I Go to Japan episode, and you guys can check that out from the video example that I'm gonna also have in the description. You guys can also see these costumes and more of what I came up with to reference the show from every single web show. I got the link for every single web show that everyone can watch if you want to, and you can scroll through. You wouldn't have to watch the full thing. You could be able to see what goes on during her show if you're a first time viewer. And in her final costume, I went with Shelby Marx CFC fighter ring attire. So it's like the MMA, her MMA outfit that she wore that was pink and yellow. Pink, yellow, and blue that she wore when she was getting ready to fight Shelby Marx in the iFight Shelby Marx episode. That's the name of the episode as well. So, and I thought about them adding her ring attire with the jacket, the pink, blue, and yellow ring jacket before they get ready to fight and things like that. So I think that'll look cool, and she'll look really tough to wear, rocking that outfit for her costume for a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 possible game to make possibly happen in the future if they go that route, if they end up going for these kind of characters. Now it's time for the taunts and animations. Those are all the costumes. Every character has different taunts, and I also want to use Ray for example. See what he does. This is one of his taunts that he does in the game when you pick him. This and that, and also it's some of his taunts that each character has their own unique taunts, and depending on what you press from the directional pad, from the D-pad, will give you some kind of a different animation with their taunts. So the taunts for Carly, I wanted to use the random dancing segment. Random dancing is something from the show, and it's one of my favorite moments from the show where they just do random dancing, where everyone dances during the web show and get involved, and even their special guests that they invite. It's really fun to see it. And one thing that I wanted to do with this taunt, outside of just having it just be a taunt that you just press a button with, I wanted to create on-screen text, an on-screen text that activates when you taunt, and use the random dancing. Each taunt with the directional input can be inspired by the different moves that she does in the show with random dancing. The random dancing segment almost, I wouldn't say it happens every show. It happens sometimes, but sometimes it'll most likely occur during the end of the show. So this can take place sometimes at the end of the group filming of an episode in iCarly, so you guys can be able to see it. And I got the video link so y'all be able to watch and see what they do. with the random dancing segments and things like that. The random dances that she does can be implemented. So if you press up, down, left, and right, you can. It's 3 different taunts, I think, from memory from this game. The 3 different directions can give her different dance moves that she can do, and she can just dance like crazy to really intimidate your opponent. When you got the advantage, you're getting ready to win, to get that W, you can just do the random dancing and really just get that early celebration and really be able to intimidate your opponent and just really get under their skin with random dancing. I think this will be a nice taunt, and I think this is the perfect taunt for her to pay homage to her web show in the actual TV show itself. So her next taunt in iFight Shelby Marx, you can go to the 20-minute timestamp from the video example that I have with her fighting stance, where she can do her warm-up with her fist. She could say, I can kick your butt anytime, anywhere, when she was calling out Shelby Marx. This kind of animation could be utilized as another additional taunt with her fist. So I like how she did that just from watching the show. So y'all will be able to see that if you go into the 20-minute timestamp from the video example. The winning and losing animations, some of these characters just cry. That's all they do. So I wanted to do something more with it to really make it make sense for Carly. For winning animations, I went with the special contest dance. Now, characters like Ember, SpongeBob, and Genie, they cry when they lose. I think Ren and Stimpy was another one too. I think Ren was the one that was crying. See how some of the characters have some of the same losing animations? They sometimes do that. So I just wanted to do something a little bit different, especially with Jenny. She still had a similar losing animation, but she would cry on the ground, and then she'll turn around and then start crying even more, bawling her eyes out like crazy. I wanted to do something more with her animations for Carly. So the winning animation, the special contest dance, she would say, this is from I Give Away a Car episode. When she wins, she can say this quote, call your doctor, together we can find a cure. Because she's going to beat you. When she's going to beat you so badly, you're going to want to call a doctor and get some help so they can figure out a cure for you. You know what I mean? So it's perfect for her to say that. And it's a nice quote from the show that I think that'll fit her winning animation. I thought about doing a random dancing for winning animation, but it's perfect for a taunt that can be on display. It could also fit for a winning animation also. Random dancing. Now that the battle's over and she beat you, now it's time for the random dancing. Because it activates and they do this kind of segment at the end of the show, maybe it'll make the most sense being a winning animation also. But it can go both ways. So a losing animation, I wanted to get the crowd involved, where the crowd boos Carla off the stage. And so performers like Ember, like a musician, her super or her ultimate attack, or final smash that people still say with this kind of game, has the crowd involved a little bit in her cheer meter and things like that with her gameplay. It has something to do with the crowd. When she hits you and her cheer meter goes up a little bit and you can hear a little bit of a crowd. But when she uses her ultimate and she successfully hits you with her ultimate, I forgot the name of it anyway, but when she performs on stage, you can't even really see the crowd, so it'll be a lot better than Ember's. So I thought this will be something that'll be perfect for her losing animations. A boo chance from the crowd to boo Carla off the air, similar to how she couldn't draw a bunny during the bunny contest on her web show in the I must have a locker 239 episode. She couldn't draw a bunny, and when they did the bunny drawing contest was between her best friends Sam and Freddie, I think Sam had the best bunny, which she's supposed to try to hype herself up. When they got to see Carly's bunny, she couldn't draw it, and it looked so bad the crowd started booing her because it didn't look that good, and they expected better of her. They expected more from her talents. So a losing animation with the crowd being on a boo Carla off the stage, or Carly off the stage from her own show, and she can just get booed off the platform. So I think that'll be a cool little losing animation. So I got the video example that showcases these moments from her web show. This one link is more than enough, and you guys can check out the show this way, and you can check out every single web show ever from the original series with this one link in about 20 to 22 minutes to save you that time. So those are the animations and the taunts. The taunts and animations, we got the costumes and things like that. Now we're going to start getting into the moveset. The big question, what can she play like? And I knew this was going to be a challenge, just trying to come up with these ideas. I had no idea how I was going to make this work, but from watching the web show and rewatching the show, it helped me figure out some of the best ideas of how she could play in the game using her pranks and her funny skits taken from the show. And I wanted to do something a little bit better with her meter, and I'm going to bring Ember back up on the screen. Since I'm an Ember main and know how she plays and things like that, and all different types of characters from this game, from release, I wanted to start with this to showcase for her moveset. So this is Carly Shay's full moveset that we're going to get into. So crowd control is her special ability where they'll be able to fire her up. So with this ability, the crowd control, fire up, Carly has a worldwide audience and can help support her. Her audience can help support her during the battle. They can cheer her on and she can grow stronger over time. Something a little bit different. And I also created the iCarly meter mechanic that's going to be something similar, but something bigger and better with a more improved cheer meter of embers. But it's not a cheer meter. It's going to be the iCarly. It's going to be the iCarly meter that's going to be on display. Because you see how you can see that cheer meter, and you can see the meter of how much firepower you have with Reptar when he launches his fireball and things like that. And then the gas meter for Ren and Stimpy, and then the money gauge for Mr. Krabs, how much money he has. These kind of characters, Mr. Krabs, Ren and Stimpy, Reptar, and Ember had meters, and also Garfield with his Sugar Rush meter as well. He had one too. I think those are all the characters that had meters in this game. So I wanted to try to think about how they implemented Ember, but I wanted to do something different with the iCarly meter mechanic. So the crowd, just like I mentioned, with being able to fire Carly up, you definitely don't want her to get fired up, and you definitely don't want this meter to fill up, because this meter can build slowly as soon as the battle starts, and once full, she can receive significantly less damage and gain super armor thanks to fan support. So that meter is going to start to dwindle. It's going to start to drain just a little bit as time goes on, so it's not going to last forever. And she can be able to activate it. So once the meter is filled, you can use it. Now, the one thing I want to share with Ember, just as someone who plays her and mained her in this game, when Ember's cheer meter went up, she will be able to launch with her special. It has something to do with her specials. Her neutral special will allow her to launch a bigger projectile with her guitar, and then her side special will allow her to play a special note to hit you a few times, a little special note combo of her side special to hit you a few times, and then it'll launch you for a significant amount of distance. So it'll launch you pretty far, especially when you have a good amount of damage on your opponent. It's almost guaranteed to knock them out and get the elimination, and you can be able to score to get the knockout with her side special if you choose to use it that way. But if you fire that bigger projectile with her neutral special with her guitar, the meter goes away. So you have to pick and choose what you want to use. So if you want to be up close with the side special, it's a good idea. They did a good job with these characters with putting these ideas together for the moveset. You could pick and choose what you want to do. So if you want to play distance, you can try to launch that projectile in midair, or just while you're on the ground when your opponent least expect it, to try to break their shield. So with this, that's just Ember's mechanics. But with the meter with iCarly, it's going to make her stronger, and the fan support is going to be able to back her. So she's going to be able to not only take less damage, but she's going to be able to do more damage with this being fired up with the combo of the iCarly meter mechanic. So they can balance this out, so you can activate it when you want to, just like how you can activate the full cheerleader with Ember, and then when you reach the full sugar rush with Garfield, you can just go on full sugar rush and the meter starts going down and declining. So they can probably balance it out just like they did with Garfield sugar rush, where it'll go down just like that. But when you die and you lose your stock and you get knocked out, it'll go away. So if you already activated, it's gonna deplete. But if you have it already ready and you didn't activate the iCarly meter to get her fired up into the battle from the crowd support and fan support, you'll have it in the next life. So you'll be able to use it in the next stop if you didn't already activate it. So that way you can use it as a nice little comeback in reserve. So just a little bit of explanation of all that. So that's going to be in the description as well. So I thought that'll be something that can make her stand out. And it made me think of her because she's a performer. She has that meter that has something to do with crowd control and things like that, getting the crowd involved in cheers. So her next move is the muffin basket that I took from the show from I Heard Luber episode. Time for a confetti surprise. This is something that she says in the show, and this is what they did to prank Luber. So Carla can rig a muffin basket with a confetti cannon to knock enemies back whenever she chooses using a detonator. So she's going to be able to set you up. That muffin basket is going to be at the ready that she can place on the field. Maybe she can be able to place more than one. So the developers can play around with that to balance it, so you're not spamming the muffin basket, because it's going to be really powerful. And this is really dangerous in the show because it actually legitimately hurt Lubert, who was the doorman in the show. It legitimately hurt him, and it caused some significant injuries to him. So this could be something that I think can be brought to the table for her to be a good fighter, and one of her moves for her move kit, for her move pool, the muffin basket. So this move can be really good for her, as it's one of her segments from the show. So this confetti cannon can explode when she's ready, and then when she activates it, time for confetti surprise. So she can say that when she places it and things like that. So a nice little voice line for her and a reaction for her move. So the next one I wanted to get into, throwing a tantrum. So I got this from the show, and it's an I Lookalike episode. So this next move, throwing a tantrum, Carla can scream, "Dinosaur, dinosaur," charging forward in a sprint, waving her club to knock anyone in her path around. And you can charge her club, and she'll be able to deal more damage. So you can charge it up, and then you can swing with that tantrum, with that club that she uses from her segment from the episode. Because she wanted a dinosaur so badly and things like that. So I think this will be a nice move where she can be able to utilize that club and be able to knock you around, and it can do some significant amount of damage. Her next move, Cupcake Slam, which will be a projectile attack. Carly can throw cupcakes at a distance to damage her opponents. So you know how some of these characters have pies, like Garfield does. He had it from the first game. They brought it back in the second game. No one's throwing cupcakes. So the Cupcake Slam, she could be able to throw these projectiles or these cupcakes at you from as a little projectile of her own. The next move, Groovy Smoothie. This is the name of the actual place in the show where they visit and where they get their smoothies to relax. And all her friends, when they're not live, they go and get food and vibe at the Groovy Smoothie. So I thought this would be a nice, cool move that the developers can name to take from the show as a tribute. Groovy Smoothie. So the Groovy Smoothie was the smoothie store from the actual show they often go to. So I think this could be a nice little refreshment for her. So with the Groovy Smoothie, she can drink a Groovy Smoothie to recover. See how Iroh is able to drink tea? He was our last character, unfortunately. Iroh was able to drink that tea to be able to recover a little bit of hit points. He was able to get 15% of hit points of a recovery. Of 15, he had 15% of a recovery percentage when he had that tea, when he drinks his tea, and it will also power up his firebending moves. So he was getting both benefits. But with the Groovy Smoothie, that for Carly, she's gonna be able to recover. So they'll be able to balance that out. Maybe she can get like 5-10% before, maybe like 5-10%, and when she drinks her smoothie. So I wanted to give her a little bit of something like that. So I was thinking about characters like Iroh, since he has this kind of move where he can actually recover with his tea. Now, speaking of recovery, her recovery move, she doesn't have like superpowers or anything like that, but I thought she could use the stage with her web show, with her own studio, to recover. So this move, I call it Carly the Bird. This was originally a stunt pulled during the web show with Gibby. Gibby's another character from the show that sometimes appears and things like that. They tried to make Gibby fly like a bird, but it went wrong because the wings collapsed and he fell on stage in her studio. So it was like a funny moment from the show. So I think Carly the Bird can be a recovery move for her, where Carly can fly like a bird to break her fall. And she can use her prop wings, because these prop wings could be taken from the show just like they gave Gibby, but it's not going to go wrong. It's going to be able to give you that manual control just like Jenny has with her recovery, and then Jimmy Neutron with the hover car. See what I'm saying? So I think it'll be something that'll be fitting for her. Carly the Bird can be utilized for her recovery. It's the best move for her. Her prop wings can be attached to wires to help her stay afloat in the midair. And it connects to the show and makes the most sense for her as a move to help her get back into the fight. So Carly can be able to fly back right in, and you know how those actors from movies, they're able to fly and they use those wires. Those wires help keep them afloat, and when they're making those significant stunts, those dangerous stunts, they have those wires to help them and give them that support and keep them afloat and make sure they stay safe. So Carly the Bird with those wings are going to be something that can be used from her props from her show, and it can be used to help her get back into the stage and get back into the battle. Now, the last part, her ultimate attack, and seeing how Raphael and Donatello utilizes different characters. They have the 4 turtles involved in the van. I was gonna probably have her summon some of the guests and stuff like that for the show, but I wanted to do something different and utilize her studio, to utilize her web show to give her that super move for her ultimate attack. And I call this the big giveaway. This is the big giveaway, and it's 2 different parts of it to make her a little bit more unique. She has 2 supers. I gave her 2 ultimate attacks, something different that I haven't done with any other character from the series. So she's the very first character that I gave 2 ultimates or 2 different variations of supers for my series for these character requests. And I thought this would be something cool for them, for people to see. And I want to use Reptar, because when he uses his super, he transforms the background. The whole screen changes. The whole interface is completely changed into a city under fire, a city under attack. Reptar's ultimate in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 for this game turns him into a giant while he stomps through the whole city and attacks all opponents breathing fire. So for Carly's, this helped me implement an idea using her web show, and also what they did with Reptar's super in this game, or his ultimate. For Carly's super, the entire battlefield can transform into her studio. Even if you're not playing on the stage, it can transform into her whole studio, and she can use her remote, her special iCarly remote, to ignite fireworks and pyro to explode for the big giveaway. And now for her secondary, to just give it almost sounds like 2 or 3 specials. Her secondary super, or her ultimate for part 2, so you can use, it'll randomly pop up. I'll try to think of it this way. They can randomly occur, because they could be beneficial depending on what you get. So you'll probably have to be trying to roll the dice a little bit with Carly's super and her ultimate, I'll say, to make it make more sense. So you'll randomly get the big giveaway dance party, the big giveaway with these 3 specials for her super. So you'll get either one of these, so it's not the same things, and it'll be randomized. So her other super, the dance party, it could be a display of a spinning wheel that can land on 2 of the different effects. And you know what? I want to do it like, I want to turn this into a wheel. That's what I was trying to do with her ultimate. See how it gets, it's so much that she does on her show. I wanted to turn it into a spinning wheel, so it'll open up the studio in the background and it lands on either the big giveaway with the fireworks and pyro to explode on everyone, with a firework party, a dance party, and then a cupcake party and the cupcake effects. So the next one for this other one I wanted to get into, so this will also be listed so people can be able to read through it. The dance party. This will cause all the characters to dance uncontrollably and unable to connect to move, allowing Carly to easily to score knockouts while the music plays. So the dance party made me think of Princess Peach. See how she puts people to sleep? But the dance, it made me think of Princess Peach and Luigi, because with Luigi doing that dance with his ultimate for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and then Peach being able to put people to sleep, things like that. And I thought that would be something that it gave me the idea of putting this together. So I thought this would be something that they could do, because she can transform in the background just like Reptar. So she'll have the dance party, she'll have the big giveaway with the pyro and the fireworks exploding, and then the last one that I added was 3-2-1 cupcakes. A huge countdown can begin on screen, and then the cupcakes can fall quickly from the sky, knocking enemies horizontally. This is a new button that I wanted to implement with her remote controller that she can add, because the iCarly remote also triggered different effects during her show. So I thought utilizing her remote will be able to help create these different specials and these different events. You don't know what you're going to get, but it's still going to benefit you either way. So it can land on the cupcakes, it can land on the little note for a little dance party, and it can have that kind of stuff displayed on a spinning wheel, or it can land on the fireworks, so you can get one or the other, and it's just going to get randomized. So you're not going to always get the same thing, so they can develop that and program that in for Carly's Moveset for Carly Shay. So you're not getting the same special and the same ultimate. It's just going to make her unpredictable. So when she hits you with the ultimate or her super attack, you're definitely going to be able to benefit while you play as Carly, and you'll be able to have a chance, because they won't be able to move from being able to get from the music playing from all the dancing uncontrollably. Zim's going to be dancing, Gerald's going to be breakdancing and things like that. All the different characters can have their own unique dance animations to make it more enjoyable. It can make it hilarious, and it's going to make the move dangerous to get showcased. It's going to make it more dangerous, because you're not going to be able to move. You're going to get bombarded with cupcakes, and it's going to slow you down, and they're just going to be raining from the sky. And one thing that I came up with from the cupcakes special with the 3-2-1 cupcake super was Nez and Lucas final smash with the PK Starstorm, with all those raining meteors. It's going to be something like that Carly can do with the cupcake parties, with the cupcakes, if it lands on the cupcake from the spinning wheel and things like that. It can just be something like the PK Starstorm. And in a dance party, people can't move. You're just going to be able to dominate players, and you definitely don't want to have her get her super, and you won't even have to really be able to get hit by it. They can change it up, because you have to be able to get successfully hit by the super attack in this game for the super to work. But Carly's can work different, so you can activate it on prompt and bring up that background, or they can probably have it upon contact, just like when Reptar hits you with it, he transforms the background. I definitely want to I was going to showcase it, but people who play this game will know how it works and things like that. So I think I want to just do it anyway for the premiere, just something different, because I don't really show too much gameplay instead of just sitting on the screen. I want to just showcase, just go to the dojo for the training, things like that. We'll just pick Reptar, things like that. I want to just do it like this, so people can see what I mean, because how he's able to transform in the background. Let's do purple Reptar. So I muted the announcer so people can really be able to see. So this is just the last portion of the video, and then you guys can share your thoughts about the character. But I definitely tried hard to really try to implement the best moves for her, See how you have to use this, and people probably haven't even seen this game in quite some time. With this, let me see, general customization, so you guys won't be able to see it, but we'll just mute the button. When she activated from the once he hits you with contact, see, I already muted the sound though, so you guys can't really hear it. But you see how he's able to change the background? It could be Carly's studio to really have that wheel. It's perfect. He's able to transform the background, and it could be something for Carly to be able to do for her animations, for her ultimate, for her super attacks. So that's everything that I came up with for Carly. Carly Shay for iCarly. I think she'll be a cool character to get picked up, but I honestly don't think they will probably go for her. But maybe a different live action character might end up getting into the game. I would love to see her get in, and I wouldn't be against it. But maybe one or two live action characters can probably get in. Maybe some of you guys can share your thoughts on her. Maybe you guys would like to play as her. Maybe someone else would probably prefer someone else to get in as a live action character for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3. Let me know what you guys think. I definitely had a lot of fun putting this idea together for this character request, and it took a while, and I'm sure this is probably on the longer side, but I hope y'all have fun listening in to the ideas. And if you have a character that you want to see me put together a video for a Moveset, you can request them now, and it can be from a different show. It can be another live action character. And per se, this was my third live action character that I ever put a moveset together for. I'm definitely happy with it, and I have so much fun putting it together to try to showcase and try to use as much creativity from utilizing her show and what she does from the web show for iCarly, and also using the studio as an idea for a weapon, and also something that could be used for her moves, and something that can be showcased in her move kit to make her shine and stand out as a unique fighter, as a playable character. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the end of the premiere, and let me know what you guys think, and just post your requests if you have more. We'll have to see what happens. I'm not sure if we're probably going to ever see live action characters get into these games. I'm not sure, but this is just all about what you guys want to see for characters that y'all want to see get into this roster with fighter potential. I feel like everybody has a chance to get into this game, because it's a such thing called creativity, and we got characters like Grandma Gertie in a game that's a martial artist, and we got all types of different characters like the Angry Beavers and many others that people did not expect to get into this game. It just shows the creativity is there. But thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the premiere, and just again, if you have requests, you can post them up in the comments, and then I'll try to get to them as many as possible, and that way other people have a chance to request characters too, and it's not the same character from the show.